Whenever you lose weight, your body fights back by slowing down your metabolism. The problem is, it doesn't care about looking good naked, it cares about keeping you alive. But what if I told you there's proven ways to keep your metabolism high while losing body fat? Not only is it true, but these are the strategies I use to go from looking like this to looking like this. So today I'm going to share these 5 powerful strategies to help protect your metabolism so you can finally lose all the weight you want. Okay, make sure you stick around to the end of the video because while all these steps are helpful, the last step is by far and away the most important one. But the first thing you want to do is make sure you're implementing a good strength training routine. So many people try to lose their weight by only doing cardio, and while it's true that a lot of times cardio does burn more calories, but when you're done with cardio, your body stops burning any additional calories. Whereas with strength training, you have something called EPOC, which stands for excess post-exercise oxygen consumption, where it's been shown your metabolic rate can stay higher for up to 48 hours post-workout as your body's recovering. Not only that, but there's been research showing that people who strength trained versus those who were more sedentary had resting metabolic rates that were 15% higher. On top of that, a lot of people think metabolism just slow down with age, but research has shown the real cause of slowdowns in metabolism is actually due to loss of lean body mass. But if you keep that lean body mass, you don't see slowdowns in metabolism up until the age of 60. So not only does strength training help avoid those slowdowns, but research has also showed your body burns more calories at rest just by having more muscle. Some research has even shown as many as 15 extra calories for every extra pound of muscle added to your frame. I'm not saying only do strength training, absolutely implement cardio as well, just don't rely on it. You want a combination of both. The second thing you can do to protect your metabolism is make sure you're implementing something that's called a diet break. This is where you go back to maintenance, usually for a week or two. It can be longer. And what it does is it keeps your body from thinking there's a shortage of food. It goes, oh, I'm getting more calories now. I don't have to guard so much against fat loss. And it keeps your metabolism higher so the process can keep working longer. Now, while the research on this is kind of split, there is the Matador study where they took obese people and had them either do 16 weeks of continuous dieting or 2 weeks of dieting with 2-week diet breaks where they went back to maintenance. And the group that did the maintenance phases lost 47% more body fat. They had better muscle retention, which we just talked about how important that is, and they also had less fat regained post-diet. You get to enjoy some more food for a while. It helps with your energy levels. It keeps your glycogen storage high so you can perform better. So please don't skip these. Don't look at them as setbacks or delaying your progress. This helps the process keep working so you can get all the way there. I recommend taking them at a very minimum every 8 to 10 weeks, but that's more if you're towards the obese side. If you don't have quite as much weight to lose, then I recommend more around every 4 to 6 weeks. The third thing you do is make sure you're eating a high protein diet. Yes, it helps build muscle. Muscle helps with metabolism, but it also has a high thermic effect of food, so your body burns a lot of calories just processing the foods you eat. There's even been research to show people who ate more calories but more protein lost more body fat than people who ate less calories and less protein. Not to mention, it's the most filling macronutrient, so if it helps you feel full, you're less likely to overeat and therefore get better results. The fourth thing you can do is make sure you're getting enough sleep. I recommend around 7 to 8 hours per night if possible, and also controlling stress levels. And the fifth, and yes, by far and away, the most important thing is to control your pace of weight loss. And I'm going to talk about how fast you should be, but just know the faster you lose weight, the more there's going to be negative impacts to things like your hormone, your resting metabolic rate, hunger levels, and there can even be long-term consequences to your metabolism by losing weight too fast. For instance, there was a study where they did a follow-up to Biggest Loser contestants. I think there was 14 of them, and what it showed was their resting metabolic rate was significantly slower than it should be just based on weight loss alone. And that's something you want to keep in mind here. Your metabolism will slow down as you lose weight. You're carrying around less mass. You don't need as much energy anymore. So it's not about not seeing any slowdowns in metabolism. We're just trying to keep you from losing more than what should happen through that weight loss. And it's also not just about the physiological things that happen. You also have to factor in the mental things, because the greater your expectations are, the more likely you're to get down about things and feel like something's not working. You feel like you're failing. And the more you try to rush the process and create faster results, the more pressure you put on yourself and the more likely you are to give up, because again, you feel like you're failing. So how fast should you lose? Research has shown you don't want to lose more than about 1% of your weight on average per week. If you're obese, you can lose a little bit faster, maybe up to about 1.5%. But again, this is the max pace. Be okay with less. Most people do lose less. I find between about 0.5 to 1% is kind of a good range. And keep in mind, some weeks you're going to lose more, some weeks you're going to lose less. We're talking about an average over time. And also, please make sure you understand, especially if you're new to strength training, you're going to build muscle. Muscle has weight. So it's not only about weight. Make sure you're paying attention to pictures and measurements. Don't get too wrapped up in that scale. Now, I mentioned how beneficial strength training is, but there is one other exercise that I find to be the best form of exercise to help you lose belly fat. And it's the only change of exercise I made when I made the transformation of looking like this to looking like this. So make sure you check out this video next to find out what that is and how to best use it to finally lose that stubborn belly fat.